Hello and welcome to Wonderthon. I am about 50 minutes away from starting my time because this round of Wonderthon ends on a Sunday. I am not going to be able to stay up late that night, so I needed to start in Eastern time. I live in the Pacific Northwest, so I'm on Pacific Standard Time. If you don't know what Wonderthon is, it is my favorite readathon of all time. It's hosted by Lizzie at Lizzie's Literary Life. It is a competitive, team-based readathon that is sort of based off of, like, if you know the board game Seven Wonders, it kind of plays like that, where you're, like, competing for points in different categories to be the team that has the overall most points. If you've seen my Wonderthon planning video, I've kind of explained all the different categories except for artillery, which is just an art-based category, which I'm not planning to do much reading in, though I have books available if I need to. So this is a 2-week-long readathon, and you can either start in your own time zone or in Lizzie's time zone, which is Eastern. That's where I'm going to start. So I'm going to be starting at 9 p.m. My plan is to read for 2 hours and go to bed, and then wake up again in the morning and just read. I had originally had some plans for Saturday, which is tomorrow, but I got a cold from the toddler that I nanny. So I was hit pretty hard today. I've barely left the couch and or my chair in my bedroom all day, and I've been doing too much scrolling. So tomorrow I won't be scrolling, I'll be reading. I didn't want to read too much today because I was excited for the readathon to start and I wanted to start readathon stuff, so I didn't do a ton of reading, but I'm not sure how it's gonna go with my cold. Hopefully it will be a fast one. I'm hoping to get a really good night's sleep and be off to the races and ready to read. Nice thing is, plans got canceled. I have more time to read. So there's a little bit of silver lining in every cloud, right? So if my voice sounds a little scratchy or I sound a little nasally, that's why. Working with young kids is great until they get you sick all the time. I'm sure any parent knows this more than I do. So I am very eagerly getting ready to start. I have a little ice cream treat. I just got a really hot shower, which does wonders for a cold. I love a hot shower when I have a cold. And I'm going to be just chilling in my chair and hanging out, waiting to read. I have picked out my first read of the readathon. It's going to be Keeper of the Lost Cities by Shannon Messenger. This is the first in the Keeper of the Lost Cities series. Well, it's 488 pages. The reason I'm starting with this one is I am planning to read chunky books for this readathon, but not just chunky books that read quickly. So middle grade is one of them. I mean, look at, like, the margins are big, the letters, the type is big, there's spaces between each line. This is going to read probably more like a 200-page book, but have like double the page count. So I'm planning to read this for infantry because infantry points are going to be slow for us in Dover because it's just hard the way it's set up. The first book you read can get a total of 6 points plus your modifier for how long it is, and then your second book gets you 24 points. So you basically have to read 2 books to get 30 points, whereas in other categories, except for art, you can get 30 points with 1 book. So I'm planning to focus on that and be the infantry person unless other people jump in, because I just had a lot of options and they can be kind of tricky for people if they don't have options. So I'm going to be reading this one for a physical backlist and then probably listening to an audiobook for archery. I have a Nikki French book that I think I might start with called Until It's Over. I may change my mind tonight as I'm going to sleep. I'll be listening to something, so I may change my mind and pick a different book. I'm thinking an audiobook for archery to get those like 30 points pretty quickly. And audiobooks tend to be very quick reads for me. So I think that one's like 350 pages or something. It's over the 300 page mark. That's what I'm worried about in the first few days, because as a team, we're planning to be feasting as much as we possibly can, because feasting means more points. So in order to have a feast, your entire team has to have an average of 300 pages per submitted book. So some people can be reading shorter books, but then other people need to be reading longer books to balance out that average, and the average has to be above 300. So this chunker is definitely going to help. I would love to finish this in 24 hours. Like by tomorrow night, I would love to have it done. I have no idea if that will happen, but when I have a cold, I kind of get the excuse to like not do my workout, not socialize, not go anywhere. I have like one errand to run, and then I'm going to go get a coffee on my way home, and that's about it. And then just read. So I'm going to enjoy this reading time while I have it. I have my medieval Wonderthon bookmark ready to go. I'm so excited to use it, and I'm just going to be eagerly waiting. We have about a half hour until it starts, so I'm going to have my ice cream, and then I'm going to read. Tomorrow morning, Lizzie is hosting some reading sprints in the morning, which it'll be 5 a.m. my time when they start, so unless I can't sleep, I will not be awake for that. But I will probably be getting up a couple hours into those sprints, so depending on how long she goes, I may get to join in for some of them. I think we will get a points update tomorrow night, if I remember right. She put up the schedule earlier today, so I think tomorrow we'll get an update on points. Sometimes she shares like the actual point numbers, sometimes she doesn't. She just says who's in what place. So that'll be fun to find out. We've already had a couple submissions from Dover, so that was exciting. Elia on our team was the first one to get like the first book submission, which was really fun. And so we got to celebrate with her because she got to start in her time zone. And we also have quite a few Pacific Coast people who will be like ending the readathon last. So that's kind of fun to have like a wide range of time zones, because it just varies the amount of time that we're going to be posting, which will be really nice. I do have some iced coffee in the fridge that is decaf, because I don't really drink caffeinated coffee, but I will have that to kind of entice me to stay awake. Something nice to drink as well. I'm going to go wait and watch the spreadsheet and just get all hyped up about reading. I am so excited for this to start. If you can't tell, it's my favorite time of year. It's so much fun, and I'm just so ready for 2 weeks of chaos and all the little secrets that Lizzie has planned. I cannot wait to find out what they are, but I'm also so scared. So I'm gonna go get ready. Hello, I have no idea if this is the worst angle ever, but I just wanted to pop in to say Wonderthon has started. I'm gonna read. I'm like 2 minutes late, so I need to get going, but happy Wonderthon, everyone! Hello, I'm back with another quick update. I am about a third of the way into this book, which is awesome, because reading a third of this book on top of like the entirety of The Keeper of Lost Cities, I feel like I stand a chance to finish this tomorrow. So I'm really hoping, I'm going to really try to finish this tomorrow, because I think Monday is going to be our potential first day of battles. Depending on how much people read tomorrow, battles may happen Monday. I don't think they won't happen tomorrow, because we have been feasting. We can see points, but we want to beef up, because our team has been the team that has been feasting the most, because we've been able to see their battle points and the wonder points for the other teams. Because we've been feasting, we're able to kind of check and see, and we think that we have been feasting basically the whole time, and not all of the other teams have been. So that's really good. We have Anik is kind of our big contender for wonder points, though I will say Warwick has been having like big jumps in wonder points, so that's kind of interesting. We are sticking around like 320 average pages for feasting, so that's been really good. We have a nice buffer. I'm still trying to read these big chunky books, that way when we need to throw in a shorter, like, quick read for these infantry paths, we can read like a 250 page book without dropping it super far. And the more that we read, the more buffer we're gonna have, which is going to be really nice too, because it will just shift it less upward and downward the more books that are submitted. So I still have, I don't know, 15-20 minutes that I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take some NyQuil so I can sleep well, and I'm not gonna set an alarm for the morning, but hopefully I'll wake up kind of early and be able to read. We did a points update. I almost forgot to tell you this, and Dover was in the lead. Like I said, I have a feeling this is our year. I really think it might be. I'm not sure. I don't want to get too cocky. But I was also doing some math on how many pages we've read per person for our wonders, and it's going to take like 5.5 days at this pace to get our first wonder built, and 14.5 days to build our second wonder. So if we want a chance at getting that second wonder, we're gonna have to like majorly up our pages read, which I'm not sure how that's gonna go, because you never know how many ghosts there are. You never know what people's reading speed are. Like, not everyone is as insane as the rest of us are. Not everyone takes it this seriously, like drop everything, read all the time. That's basically what I've done all day. So not everyone is like that, which is totally fine. Like, it's just for fun. But definitely, like, I would love to get our wonder and be able to have it for like a day or two to get a good bonus and use from it. But we'll see what happens. Definitely, I think we should be getting a lot of good pages, because I'm assuming, like, while we've only done that many pages, people are probably in the middle of books. Some people had started like 2 or 3 books. So, you know, like, there have been more pages read that have been submitted because people are in the middle of books. So it was just an interesting observation to see kind of like how far we needed to go for our wonder points. So it was really great being first, but we are afraid it's going to put a target on our back for battles. So we're really trying to go for big point books. Because we're reading longer books, we need them to be for like big points in order to like save us from battles. Because if people are reading shorter books, they're getting less points, but if they're getting a bunch of them, they can also build up points that way. So we can't be reading longer books that are worth a little bit of points. We need to be like max points. So that's why this one will be worth like 59 points when I finish it. So I want to finish this tomorrow to get those points in there for infantry, because it's one of the slowest ones. And then I have a plan to start another infantry path and to read this one, which is like 290 pages, so it's very close to 300, but like it's almost written in verse. This is We Spread by Ian Reid, and I think like the way it's written, it's just going to be easy to like fly through. So this one is going to start like my second path for it. So that's kind of my plan, is I need to get this done and then immediately bump into the next one, and then maybe do some art, because art is also lagging behind a little. It's just a little hard to get big points in that category. So I might throw in an art book as well. So it was a great first day. I feel like excited and exhausted and scared. It was so good to be in first, but I know that target is on our backs. And whenever you're in first, it's going to make other teams like read that much harder to catch up with us. So we have to like continually read faster and faster to keep above them. So it's very chaotic and fun, but I'm very excited to just continue on. Okay, I just filmed this whole update and realized it wasn't recording, so I'm gonna fly through it again I read Nosferatu. I finished this today. I submitted it for like 59 infantry points, which was awesome. It bumped up our wonder page count and our feast page count, so that was awesome. We have been feasting the whole time, so we're just like really reveling in getting those extra points. I believe we are still in first place because our wonder points have been significantly higher than the other teams, and we are the largest team, so we've been reading a lot. I know everything is averaged out by it, but we've read over a third of the books submitted. So as long as we're submitting for high points with those books, we can almost guarantee that we're first place. So I read this one, didn't love it. You can tell it was written by a white man, and I don't like the focus on like the villains being terrible to women specifically. It felt gross. There were a lot of slurs for Black people and women and queer people and things like that in this. It just, the story itself was good. There was a lot of that kind of icky stuff though coming from the villains, people we weren't supposed to like. So I'm like, okay, I don't think you're telling me that I'm supposed to think like this or something. You're showing me how gross this person is by saying these things, but I really hate that. Like, I don't know, it just feels icky to me. So I probably won't be picking up more Joe Hill. We desperately need some artillery points before the battles happen, which I think will be Tuesday. So I am halfway through Vinland Saga. This is an omnibus collection. It's like 400 pages. So I'm halfway through this. I'm going to zoom through this tonight. And then if I have time, I'll pick this up tonight or tomorrow and finish off Full Metal Alchemist volume 7 through 9. And then on audiobook, I'm listening to the first book in the Will Trent series by Karen Slaughter. It's called Triptych. It's like a mystery detective series. Not loving it so far. I'm not sure how I'll feel about it overall, but I'm like 10% in. It'll be a good listen for the next couple days. I think this is going to be my next book that I read for infantry because I'm going to start a new infantry path. That's going to be a very fast read, which I need after reading like a massive book and really like pushing myself to get through it. And then I read a couple stories in this book, which will eventually go towards infantry later on, but it's a very chunky short story collection all about the apocalypse. And so I've just been dipping in and out of it during meal times because I can read on my phone instead of holding a book physically. So that's where we're at. Go Dover. We're killing it. We officially passed 500 wonder points. I am almost at my 1,500 wonder points. I'm over 1,000. And with this, I'll be getting up to like 1,200. So I'll just need 300 more to get to like my 1,500. And then I'm like adding in to help other people get to theirs is how I like to think about it. Because Wonderthon's all about teamwork. So I'm going to go read and try to get in some art, some graphic novels, and maybe a little bit of a novel before bed. Hello, welcome to Tuesday. I can't believe we're already on Tuesday. So this has been 4 days of the readathon. We're mid-day 4, and let me tell you, things have happened. So, yesterday, I read all of We Spread by Ian Reid. I loved this. This was so good. I basically read it in just like a couple sittings, and it's written in this like very choppy kind of format. Like there's just lots of spaces between everything. And at first I was like, why would you do that? It just takes up more of the page. But as I read, it started to make more sense. So this is about a woman named Penny, who is an old lady, and she is sort of having memory problems, and she can't keep track of things as well. So when we're having these very like choppy things, it kind of helps us get into that mindset of like something's happening and then she kind of loses track of time. Something else is happening. We're losing track of time. Like, how long has she been in this place? This is about her kind of getting taken to an old folks home. It's a very small one, and strange things start to happen. It's very strange and weird, but it has some very like poignant things to say about like work, especially work as creatives, and how we approach productivity. And there's so much I want to say, but like I don't want to spoil things, but this was really, really good. I would highly recommend it. And same thing with I'm Thinking of Ending Things. That's also really good, by the same author. And I just really liked it. It was a very fast read, but I gave it 5 stars. It was very, very good. Then I picked up volume 7 through 9 of Full Metal Alchemist. I think I gave this like 4 stars. I'm enjoying this series. I didn't feel like these 3 novels had anything like groundbreaking happen. There were a couple interesting plot points that I don't want to talk about because spoilers, but I'm very much enjoying this graphic novel series. I find it to be quite charming, a little silly, and just kind of fun. So it's a good time, and I can see why so many people have loved it. And it gets decent points for the most part. If I can get a hold of some of the volumes I'm missing, because I have all the like final volumes, but I'm missing 10 through 15. If I can get a hold of them, I would like to continue on during Wonderthon. But we'll see if that happens. And then I've started a teeny tiny bit of My Heart is a Chainsaw by Stephen Graham Jones. This is going to finish out an infantry path for me that this one started. So I submitted this for infantry for a physical backlist. And then this will continue that pathway for small town setting set in a country where I live. And I'm reading that. I also finished Triptych by Karen Slaughter. This is not the first Karen Slaughter that I've read, but the first full novel by her. It's the first in her Will Trent series. And it only took me a couple days to listen to it, and I gave it a 3.5. It's very dark, very gritty, lots of like drugs and prostitutes and horrifying prison things that are happening. So it's very dark, very gritty. I don't know if the series is going to be my thing, but I liked the cleverness of the writing and how stories kind of wove together. So I think I'm going to continue at least with the next one. I don't know if I'll do it during Wonderthon or not, but it's definitely an option moving forward. So I think I gave it like a 3.5 stars. I did not feel like I liked Will Trent that much, who is the main detective in this series. So I think that's kind of what's holding me back, maybe. Not sure what's going to happen, but I submitted that for archery points this morning, which was perfect because Lizzie did a little something today. So she introduced a new game mechanic called an earthquake, and our archery board got completely scrambled, so the numbers are now all over the place. So this whole show of colors and books means nothing. I'm gonna have to go see if I want to put those in other categories or just ditch them, because yeah, they don't match up anymore. We don't get 30 points for Blue Mysteries anymore. It's like romanticies and historical books. So that was a huge shakeup, and we had a huge scramble to figure out like what are we gonna do, and I don't think I've actually figured out what I'm gonna do, but it was chaotic and so much fun. Lizzie, you surprise me every time, and even though it's like chaotic and I hate it, I love it. Like, I love the planning. So this is like, throw out the plan, make a new plan, which is chaotic and exciting. Other news, we have officially gotten our first battle, which will be happening tomorrow morning, Wednesday, which is a day later than I thought it would. And Bodium also got their first battle, so they will be battling. And I'm so happy that we do not have to battle alone on the first day, because if that happened, basically we're giving a piece of information to all the other teams. If we attack with archery somewhere and we lose, other teams are going to go, we think it's probably safe to attack them in archery. So, or if we win, they know, don't attack with that category. They can attack in a different category. So the fact that Bodium is going to have to attack either us or someone else with a category is really nice, because then we're not giving away that free information. We will also be gaining some information. So we're going to try to attack with infantry, because we've been putting a lot into infantry. And if we can, we've been trying to beef it up a little bit. So it's not our highest. It's like our third lowest. But we're just hoping that it's hard for other people to get points in these areas as well. So we're hoping that we can maybe be higher than some other people. It's also not the category that is easiest to gain points in, which is archery, because you can get those 30-point books very quickly. In archery, you have to read 2 books to get 30 points, plus, the length modifier and stuff. But we've just been working really hard to beef up our infantry score. So we're hoping that that will work tomorrow morning when we battle. I think we're going to go against Bodium because they are close to us. We also learned that the biggest gap between teams is 3.9 points, which is not a lot. I think we have 18 points or something. And so that means if Bodium was in second place yesterday. So if it's still them, they're 4 points behind us, which is not a lot. They could easily kind of get ahead of us or caught up to us. If they win a good battle, they could be taking a decent amount of points and adding it to their score. So we really need to be careful and strategic about how we're attacking. Here's something that's really helpful. When we attack with infantry, if we win, people are going to think that's our highest category, and they may try to attack us in a different one, but it's actually our third lowest. Artillery, I think, is our lowest, barely. And then the other two, archery and cavalry, are much higher. So that's going to be really nice, is to kind of have those beefy categories that they might try to attack us in for the big points. But they won't know that they're big points because they're going to think we attacked with our biggest. So we're hoping that that kind of acts as a shield to just mask more information and create more confusion, because then maybe other teams will just back off because they're we can't figure out what they're doing and we can't get ahead of them. Other fantastic news, I learned that the boys I nanny are going to be on vacation next week, so I'm not nannying at all next week unless I nanny for another family, but that's going to be 3 hours a day max. It's going to be 9 hours max. I'm basically gaining 24 day hours to read next week. So I'm super stoked about that. And I'm just so excited to be able to read. I need to do some thinking about what I'm going to do with these books, because I need to abandon the plan I had for that and figure out something else. So I'm going to kind of shuffle things around a bit. We're also expecting for more things to happen because Lizzie said it was our first earthquake. And so I think all the categories are going to get shook up. So I'm not super worried about it, other than with this book, because I had really good plans for using this for an infantry path. I am not far enough to rush and finish this in a couple days. This is going to take me most of the readathon, but it's going to be worth 60 infantry points once I finish it. But if that doesn't happen, if that gets mixed up and it can't do that, I'm where am I going to put this? So it could go, I think we could argue that this is black for black sci-fi. So that would still be like a fairly good heavy hitter, because I think that's 25 points. And as I've been reading this, I'm like, it definitely leans more horror. I need to read all of them to see if the whole collection leans more horror, but I think it could be considered our genre as well. So that's going to be my backup, is submitting this for archery, but I'm really hoping for inventory at the end of the month this won't get messed up. But you never know what's going to happen. So I'm going to go get reading because we have a lot to do. We are hoping to get our wonder by tomorrow morning. Our wonder means for cavalry, we can use any of the digits in a book to move around the board. So like this one is like 405 pages. So we could use the 5, the 0, or the 4 to move around the board, which would be really nice. So once we get our coat of arms, if the numbers move around on the cavalry board, we'll be fine. We'll be able to like move things around pretty easily, make a new path, and we'll be able to pull from 3 numbers instead of 2. We also have this whole like joust competition that's like a competition within the competition that we don't really know exactly what it's going to look like yet. So that'll be interesting in the days to come, and there's some nifty prizes that we're looking at potentially getting. So it's been so chaotic and so fabulous. I can't believe we're only on day 4. I feel like we've been doing this for like a month already. It's so insane. I'm going to go read. I'll check back in with you probably tomorrow after the battle. Hello. I'm here with a quick update before I head into work. We just had our first battles of Wonderthon, and it was so intense. It was actually crazy. So our team, thank goodness, against my better judgment, decided to attack Bodium with cavalry, and we won. Bodium attacked us with infantry, and they won. They only won by a tiny bit, but that means they get 5% of our total score. Like, no matter how big the win is, that's how much you get. So we got 5% of their score, they got 5% of ours, but we lost less because we only lost like a tiny bit than they did. They lost by more based on Lizzie's scale of Skittle to chocolate chip cookie. So we're throwing snack foods this year in battles, and it was very chaotic. We are trying to boost our infantry now since we know we're lower. We don't want any other teams to take advantage of that, because I'm pretty sure that Anik and Warwick are going to be attacking maybe us next. Tomorrow morning, they're going to have battles. We're like 1.5 points away from our next battle. So I don't think it'll be today, but it might be the day after, because we've been really, really reading. We are so close to getting our wonder. We're like 700 pages away from it. So we're super close. I think we're going to get it today. I am currently reading 6 Wakes on audiobook by Mur Lafferty. I was originally going to send this for archery, but I think we need the infantry points. So what I'm going to do is I need to finish My Heart is a Chainsaw for my current infantry path. I'm not going to finish 6 Wakes. I'm going to read all the way up until the end, but not finish it. Then I'm going to go read another adult audiobook. After I finish My Heart is a Chainsaw, I'll submit that. Then the adult audiobook, and then submit 6 Wakes for Person on the Cover set in the future. As long as another earthquake doesn't happen and mess things up, that's my plan. I'm hoping to do that by tomorrow, which might happen if I really focus on reading. So I'm going to go into work, but it's been a chaotic morning. We have a plan moving forward. It's basically just to read as much as we physically can, and that's what I'm going to do. Hello. Today has been a crazy day. So remember that jousting thing that I mentioned earlier? So this is new. And basically, we had a team of like our readers that read the most got to basically try out for the jousting team. And you got to qualify for 48 hours, read as much as you could, and then the highest readers go on to make up the jousting team. So I think we have 9 jousters on our jousting team. Every team has the same amount. And then everyone else are cheerleaders. And the cheerleaders are given different tasks. When the jousters are given a reading prompt, we are given a task to do to like help them out. So for the jousters, they had to buddy read a book, and they picked the book Holes by Louis Sachar. So they had to do that. And then what the cheerleaders had to do is they had to go and find someone on our team and like twin with them in some way, and then take a picture and post it. And if we got to 75% of our team had done the cheerleading prompt, the twinning, then that would mean that our jousters wouldn't have to read the whole book. We could have one less person read the book. So we went insane. The prompt dropped at 1 o'clock, and we had it completed. Every jouster turned in their book, and we got 75% of our team to cheerlead by, I think, 4:15 or something like that, like 3 hours. It was insane. Our chat was going absolutely bonkers with people being like, what do you see around you that you can take a picture of? And people would be like, I have markers. And like 6 people would jump in. I have markers too. Let's take a picture. And it was so much fun. So Lizzie, kudos for adding such a fun element. So we won first place. No one else has been announced that they have won second place. I don't know if she'll announce it as it happens, but first place has been won. So we are getting 20 coins that we can then spend on different rewards, and we might get 60. That's like the max you could get if you win all 3 stages, or other teams might win some. But it does mean that if we don't win the 60, no one else can win the 60. So that's cool because it's taking that like big prizes away from the other teams, which is nice. Like it's securing like a win for us either way. Even if we lost the other 2, it's still a win in some ways. So I'm working on this. I was reading it during work a little bit. I got like 20 more pages or something. So I'm at page 120. It's a 400-page book, so I need to make some progress on it tonight because we lost in infantry. So we need to beef up infantry so people don't think that's a weak spot of ours. So what I'm going to do is try to finish this. This will finish the infantry path. So this is going to be a big hitter. Finish a path, listen to an adult audiobook, start a new path, and then finish another path with 6 wakes. So I can do like bam, 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 like 3 in a row basically. So that's my plan. I'm thinking Fight Club is a very quick audio. That's an adult book. I'll have to see if I have anything shorter, but I think it's only like 6 hours. So ideally, I would finish this tomorrow and the other 2 audiobooks tomorrow. That should also help us get another battle on Friday, I think. Might be our next time that we battle because we're already like halfway there. So I think we could get it by Friday then. So that would be like 3 books. So I'm basically not doing anything with art. I'm like going full on infantry right now, and I'm just gonna like read as much as I can. I need to read 300 pages in this, and I have to work tomorrow, so I just need to read as much as I can tonight and hopefully make a good dent in it. So I'm gonna go do that now. But go Dover, we're such an awesome team. First place felt so good for the first jousting challenge. Go us. Hello, today is Thursday. This is Thursday's update. Kind of a quiet day. We had battles, but none of them were directed at us. They were both directed at Bodium. Bodium won 1 and lost 1. So that was interesting. And we are just working on building up our infantry, because that's what we lost in, and cavalry, because that's what we want to attack in. We should have an attack tomorrow, so we really want to boost our cavalry scores. So I'm going to give you some update. I've been working on infantry. I finished this one. I read like 200 pages of it today, which was awesome because I was working all day. So I got some done in the morning and then finished some in the evening. Then that finished my infantry path because this is set in a small town in a country where I live. Then I have on audio Fight Club. I needed something short that I could really like fly through in order to start a second path so that 6 wakes can then finish that path. So I need to finish this tonight and then finish 6 wakes and then submit them for that. And then I'm going to try to get in a cavalry before the battle in the morning. So the Full Moon Coffee Shop. This is a sort of small, cute book. It's like 230 pages, so very short. So I can use this to add to our battle scores because this will it'll be less than 30 points. It'll either be 30 points or just under 30 points for cavalry, which will be good. It'll also start my cavalry path, and then I need to read something with the 0 after this, so I'll have to look for options for that. But I want to try to get these 2 and 6 wakes finished tonight. I'm going to be home by myself tonight. My husband's going to play games with friends, and it'll just be me and the pup. So I'm going to try to finish this. I do not like this. I have been slowly cranking the speed on the audiobook up and like as much as I possibly can because I'm just not liking it all. The writing feels extremely choppy and I just don't like it. It feels crude and not in a way that feels meaningful right now. I don't know. I just don't like it. And I can't explain much why. I did find out why there's soap on the cover, so that was interesting. I was like listening and then it was like, oh, so that was kind of funny. I'm like 55% of the way through this, so I can read it some physically and then listen to the audiobook just to like bust it out. I have like an hour and a half left of the audiobook maybe, or maybe like an hour and 20 minutes. So I'm going to read a little bit and then try to listen to more of it and just get it done and then read something that I actually want to read. I have no idea what I'll listen to on audiobook next. I'm thinking I'll read physically for infantry. So read something short and quick. And then try to read Don't Fear the Reaper. Because I really enjoyed My Heart is a Chainsaw. And I would really like to continue quickly because the ending was like, ooh, it was interesting. And I'm excited to continue on. So I want to do that if I can. What I'm thinking, I don't think I'll read this one because this one's just very chunky. I would like to maybe go for like Water for Chocolate because it's one that I own and it does have like recipes in it, I believe. So like I don't have to like read those. I don't really know anything about this, but I kind of think it could work for Up to Bat next, unless we need more cavalry, in which case I will focus on cavalry or archery, because we also might need that. I also need to do some art, because people who have been doing art have been doing a lot, and I don't want them to get burnt out, because it takes a lot of art to like boost up that category. So I also want to read some art just to ease what they have to do. So that's my plan. I do want to tell you about this because I finished it and I really liked it. So this book is about Jade, who is a young 17-year-old girl, and she is very much like a self-proclaimed horror chick. She's obsessed with slashers, and she becomes convinced that a slasher is about to happen in her hometown. It's very dark, very creepy and gory towards the end, but very interesting just what it had to say about Jade and about people who are very into horror, because I think a lot of people don't understand why people would like horror. They think it's like evil, or like, why would you be so obsessed with it? So I just thought it was really interesting. I had some really interesting things to say, and I think I gave it like a 4.5. There was something like holding me back from loving it. I'm not sure what it was, but I really enjoyed it. So 4.5, it just didn't feel like a 5-star to me. My 5 stars are super subjective. But I really liked it, and I'm very excited to move on. And these get good points. 457 pages for the next one. They get really good points. The only thing I will say is I am definitely like bracing for another earthquake or other natural disaster to like shake up the boards that we have going. So with all these plans, there's a big asterisk of like, we don't really know what's coming now. We have to think about that when we're doing our planning, that we really don't know what's going to happen. So I'm going to go keep reading, try to finish up Fight Club, and then move on to something that I hopefully like a lot more. I'm here with an update. Today is Monday. It's about 1:30, so it's been a few days since I updated you because I've been either busy and or busy reading because things have gotten really tense. So, Sunday morning, we lost 2 battles. Bodium attacked us in archery and beat us by the size of a banana split. And then Anik attacked us in artillery and beat us by the size of a skittle. But we basically, we didn't lose that many points. We won more than we lost because we attacked Bodium in cavalry, and we won that one for the size of a cupcake. So we won more points than we lost, but we're panic reading archery because we're pretty sure that they're going to attack us in that again. My biggest fear is that they've switched up tactics to keep us guessing and are coming in from another angle, such as infantry, because they did beat us in infantry at the beginning of the readathon. So I'm afraid that that's going to happen. I'm not sure, though. So we were sort of panic read all the things. Bodium had caught up to us a little bit in cavalry, so we need to keep a lead in order to get those wins and maximize their losses. So it's been tons of strategy. Good news, our jousting team absolutely smashed the jousting challenge, and within 2 hours, maybe less than that, an hour and a half, they absolutely smashed it. So we do have coins to spend. We bought, with our coins from the other two, the archery bonus. That way we could use any color on a book, any color that's present. It doesn't have to be the primary color to use for that color on the archery board. So we use that. It's been a total secret. We haven't told anyone so that no one can know that we have that, and they can maybe think it's harder for us to do archery, but it's actually fairly easy now. I'm reading a middle grade called On the Edge of the Dark Sea of Darkness. I'm liking it fine. It's definitely the opening to a series for middle grade. I'm not in love with it, but I'm having a good time with it. I'm listening to The Night House by Joe Nesbo, which is pretty good. I'm listening to that on audio. I started it this morning. It's not super compelling, but it's interesting enough that I'm having a good time with it, and it'll be good points in archery. It'll be 28 points or something like that. And then I'm reading, my current physical read is Booked for Murder by R.J. Blaine. This is fine, bordering on not liking it. I'm about 120 pages through. It's almost 600 pages, but the words are big and the margins aren't too bad. The pages themselves just don't have a lot of words on them. So it's going pretty quick. It's just not very good writing. It's self-published, which, as someone who wants to be a self-published writer, I am not putting down self-published authors. just the writing in this one is not that good. It needs someone like more skilled to go over it, because it's just like the amount of times the main character has referred to her cat as furry goddess, and that is not the cat's name. She just constantly refers to her as furry goddess, and I'm just like, just say her name or that it's the cat. Like, I don't want to read furry goddess 100 times in a book. I'm gonna tear my hair out. So this one might get so bad that I only read to page 300 to maximize points, and then I stop, which I'm about halfway there. But the story itself isn't bad. It's incredibly slow moving. I will say not a lot has happened, and the stuff that has happened isn't that interesting. It's a romance fantasy. It's basically urban fantasy with a mystery. So there is a romance, but it's very slow burn. Not a lot has happened yet with it. And I don't know, it's just not as compelling as I hoped it would be. I hoped it would be a lot more fun and funny, and it's really not. I think the writing just feels a little amateur or not edited enough. Maybe not amateur. I can understand why the author wrote the book this way, but I think having someone really professional and really good at their editing job could have polished this up quite a bit more, so it wasn't so awkward, I guess. Like, I get that you're referring to the cat as furry goddess to be like quirky and silly, but it's annoying when it happens 30 times. Calling coffee magic bean juice, I don't know, it just feels very cringy and everything. Like, I don't know. So it just, I wish a lot of that wasn't there, and it's kind of making the reading experience not as good as I would like. That's my update. We are panic reading because Bodium's going to battle tomorrow, and we're afraid that they're going to battle again in archery because they are just, they have their bonus is archery for their first wonder. So it's easy for them to get points like it's easy for us to get points. So we're hoping that we can at least keep pace with them, if not overtake them. It'd be really nice if we won, if they battled us in archery. That would be really great. I'm not sure if that would ever happen. So we're just panic reading. We're going to try to hit our wonder by tomorrow because that would be amazing. We need 4,000 average pages. We're at like 3,600. So like it's possible. Maybe not likely. Maybe we're at 3,300. Something like that. 3,300 something. It's not likely, but it's possible, and I want to push for it. I have 3 hours of work today, and then I'm off for the rest of the week. I just have like a haircut on Tuesday. The car is going to be in the shop on Saturday. And I have an interview for a nanny job on Wednesday, but that'll take like 30 minutes, I assume. So my week is going to be reading, and I'm going to do my best to like get this team to victory because the other teams are coming for us. Like, they are gunning for us, and we're just trying to stay ahead and read as much as possible. Hello, welcome to another update. We are at Wednesday of week 2 of Wonderthon, and I haven't checked in a while. I keep meaning to, but I've been reading like crazy, and I haven't wanted to take the time to like set everything up and film. So I'm gonna update now and try to remember where we were. We've lost some battles, and we are in second place. Bodium has overtaken us. We're not 100% sure how, but here are some good things. We think we know with one of the mystery stats what our ghost count is, and our team has the highest ghost count of all the 4 teams. So we think we don't need to buy the ghost count bonus with our coins. We can buy just points. So we'll be able to buy basically 30 total points, which right now we're at 90 points. So that's like adding a third of our points to it. So that would be amazing. But we can't do that until the very end because we are losing battles. Like, we're finding it very hard to juggle all the categories and not be losing. We tried to catch up to attack Bodium in cavalry. We went so hard on cavalry and they were behind us because they were ahead of us because we built our castle, which our bonus that we spun is before we battle, we get to look at a certain category and see who's in second place. So we looked at cavalry. We were in second place. So we're like, oh no, that means Bodium's in first place. I don't know how because they've been smashing archery and they're way ahead of us in archery. So we just can't keep up. They've been reading like crazy all week and we just haven't had the ability to keep up with them, though we are pushing as hard as we can. I've been reading like 2 full novels a day. It's been insane. I don't normally do that. And so we're just really pushing. Tomorrow, Bodium is going to definitely be attacking us with archery. We know that. We have basically let archery go. We decided it's more important to win a battle against a higher point team than it is for us to like try to overtake archery because it's not happening because they are slamming archery and cavalry like crazy. We can't catch up. They're overtaking us. So we're just like, screw it. We're going to let archery go a bit. We're still throwing in some here or there, especially when they don't work for other things. But the cavalry board just got switched up and the best path to take has a bunch of 7s in it. And because of our first wonder, we can use any digit in the book page number to move along the board. So I'm hoping that shakeup is going to make it much harder for other teams to move unless they spend their coins to get that bonus. So that's what I'm hoping. And we are just really trying to read. We're doing artillery because we know Annex's going to be coming for us, we think. I really hope that they attack Bodium because I want to know where Bodium's artillery score is. We're just too afraid because it seems like every time we've attacked them lately, they've been ahead of us, or when we were going to attack them in cavalry, they were ahead of us. So we're just like terrified of Bodium and we feel like we can't get ahead and we're kind of having to balance categories, but other teams are able to kind of specialize. So we're basically letting infantry and archery go, and we're just trying to do artillery because it's fast to get battles, and cavalry, and we're just like going for it. So that's going to be the plan. I wanted to share with you a few of the books I've read. I read this yesterday, The Mysterious Case of the Alberton Angels. Read the whole thing yesterday, a mix of physical and audiobook. I enjoyed it. I gave it a 4. I read this morning. It's called Grammary Land. It's a graphic novel about these kids who go to like this like haunted amusement park, and it was fine. I didn't love it, but I read it really quickly and it was worth good points. I read this yesterday and finished it this morning. This is a dystopian kind of zombie novel, and I thought it was decent. It wasn't like anything amazing, but it was a page turner, easy to read. Read it all in less than 24 hours. I'm currently reading The Vacation by John Mars, and I'm 85% or 85 pages through. It's 460. I'm going to be putting this towards cavalry because this is going to help me loop the board. So it's going to be like, let's see, 25 plus 8, 33, 36 points plus the page count modifier plus our feasting bonus. So this is going to be like a heavy hitter book. I want to say like 40 or 50 points. So I'm reading this one, and if you don't know, John Mars does very short chapters and lots of like people that you follow. So like very short, and so that means a lot of half pages. And so I'm hoping that that will help me read this pretty quickly. I think we want to battle. We won't battle tomorrow because we battled this morning, but I think we want to be battling at least every other day. And in a few days, we're going to switch to short reads, and we're just going to try to battle as much as we possibly can. I wanted to show you one more thing before I go actually read for the night, because I need to do that. I want to show you what my book corner looks like, because it's insane. And excuse any mess, I'm cleaning more tomorrow, but I have stacks of books over on the bed because the cavalry board changed, and clothes that need to be put away. Ignore those. A bunch of artillery graphic novels in case I need to read them. I have short books there that I can read. They all have yellow on them, so if we need archery, that's going to be good. Here were my original plans. Let's, give a shout out to what once was. And then there were more up there. And my Full Metal Alchemist books never came in the middle, so I'm waiting for like a big chunk of them in the middle and can't read them. So, yeah, there's more like beside me. This is a chaos of Wonderthon. I am like finishing a book, closing it, submitting it, and like picking up the next one. We're trying to read so fast because we really, really want to win this year. It has been so fun to be in first place, and losing it feels terrible. I want first place back. So I'm hoping we can get there. We're just reading so hard for it. Hello, it's Thursday morning, and it's a little bit after battles, and I wanted to give you an update because something really interesting happened. So we got hit by Bodium in archery. We got hit fairly hard, not as hard as we hit Anik the other day on accident, but wasn't too bad because we know that we will always get more points when we are winning rather than losing. So we have abandoned archery pretty much, are focusing on artillery and cavalry still. But Anik, instead of attacking us, they attacked Bodium in artillery and won by a landslide. They had the biggest win we've seen so far. And that was amazing because we think we might be able to beat Bodium. So what we're going to do is tomorrow we're going to use our castle bonus to see who's in second place in artillery. And we're really going to boost artillery today to get our battle tomorrow. And we think we can hit Bodium pretty hard in artillery because we have people that can really bust them out. So I'm going to do some more cavalry because we want cavalry as a backup. But we're basically focusing on those two things. And we really got a boost of excitement because we hadn't figured out how to beat Bodium because they were just boosting cavalry and archery so high we couldn't keep up. But we think artillery might be their spot that they didn't focus on, and so we might be able to jump in there. But it's all going to depend on that sneak peek tomorrow, so we'll see what happens. And then at some point in the weekend, we're going to abandon long books and just go for the shortest books we can find and really slam short books to battle as much as we can, especially if Bodium has a weak spot in artillery and we can hit them hard there. Then we're really going to slam artillery and just get as many battles as we can. Hello, Wonderthon is almost over. It's been a chaotic few days. Things have been going crazy. My reading slowed down and sped up all at the same time in a weird way. So I just wanted to give you one quick final update. I'm not going to recap everything that I read because so many things happened. So last night I read until 9 p.m. I was reading a bunch of short things. So I was listening to short stories and poetry and reading some comics. I was reading Something is Killing the Kids, which I'm really loving. And lots of things are happening that way. So I was reading. I had to slow down a bit because I may have read so much that I gave myself carpal tunnel in my hands. Maybe both of them. There also might be something else going on we're trying to figure that out. So I was listening to audiobooks and reading floppy graphic novels that I could like carefully turn without doing like repetitive motions with my wrists. So I couldn't like, and still am trying not to like hold a book and things like that, because I just need to give my wrists some time to relax and stuff and let things heal. So that was less exciting than I had hoped. That kind of was happening all through the second week, and so that was kind of frustrating, but it happens. Sometimes you just read too hard and you hurt yourself, and there were other people on Dover who could relate to that. So that happened. So I was doing a lot of audiobooks and then a lot of those big graphic novels that I could flip through more with arm movements rather than wrist movements. And now that Wonderthon's done, I'm just taking a little break from reading lots of things and trying to like slow down and let my body heal. And hopefully we won't do that to myself again, or if something else is going on, we'll figure that out. But we got to 3 battles yesterday, and we ended up sending 2 of them at Dover and 1 at Anik because things that happened, we weren't sure who was in like second place or not. We were pretty sure we were still in first. And the awards show will be happening tonight, in about 8 hours-ish. So I'm very excited for that. I'll be watching that, and then my sister will come over to hang out, and I can finally like watch TV without thinking I should be reading. So we're gonna watch some TV together, and I just had the best time. I think this is gonna be the year, like without a doubt. We won, I think, which is really exciting, but I'll come back and like fully wrap it up. I just want to say thank you to Lizzie and to Martine and all the other team captains, Ruby and Danielle and Kayla and Bailey. I love Wonderthon so much. It's the best readathon out there. I've done so many, and every time Wonderthon comes around, I read more than I read for other readathons. I have so much fun thinking of strategy, and Lizzie really did her best this year to make it extremely hard for us to make a plan and stick to it. If you haven't watched my planning video, things got changed from what I had originally planned. Thank you, Earthquakes. Things happened throughout the month, and Dover was an incredibly fun and amazing place to be. We sent a little, like, do you want to be BFFs? Because we hadn't been in alliance because we were in first. We were the big bad of the readathon this year. We were in first so much, and so we had sent a do you want to be BFFs little, like, badge to Warwick because we love them. They're so great. One of Warwick's teammates got a Wonderthon tattoo. They got the logo for Warwick like tattooed on their thigh, because Thighs Out has been like a Ruby's team thing that's been going on for years. And I just love the community of this readathon. It's so much fun. I read so many mysteries. I did not read as many books on my TBR as I thought I did. As you can see behind me, my bookshelf is a mess. I still have books like surrounding me. As soon as I'm done here, I'm going to go try to sort that out. A lot of these are going back to the library unread because I have like 70 of them out right now, and I need to be working on my own books now. I kind of let myself go crazy with the library books for this couple weeks, and now I need to get back to my own books. So I'll be doing that, and I just had a blast. It's so fun every year. Thank you, Lizzie, for all the work you put into it. It's the most fun. Someone said, I feel so bad for Lizzie because she doesn't get to play this readathon that she's created, and I wholeheartedly agree because it's an absolute blast, and she's so smart, and I'm just astounded at how she makes it better every year. The jousting, the earthquakes, like all of that added up to just make it so fun. And I can't wait to see what she has in store for next year. I just love it so much. So this has been Wonderthon. I may come back with some stats, but I'll come back probably tomorrow morning after like the live show has happened and stuff, and just chat about wrapping things up and how I feel about it and what I read and everything like that. But it feels really good to be done, but also I miss it so much already, and I'm excited for the live show to see everything that happened. And yeah. Okay, so now that I won on Martine's team, for next year, I'm thinking of like potentially trying to be on another captain's team, because I was on Martine's team 3 years in a row, and I truly love all of the captains so much. They're all amazing people. And so I was like, well, maybe I should just try to win with each captain. So I've got my eye on Danielle's team, because Danielle is usually fantasy, and I could do with a couple weeks of like hardcore reading fantasy, because I just have so much fantasy on my shelves, and that could be fun. I also think like Warwick, because they're always like the tiny but mighty team, because they read literary fiction, which isn't generally as popular for readathons, but I definitely get down with literary fiction sometimes. I'm thinking. And then Bailey, I love Bailey, so Bailey's team would be fun. I don't read a ton of romance, but like if I could do books that have like a strong romance but are also like, you know, a mystery or a fantasy or something, I could definitely see myself doing that as well. So I just have so many thoughts about Wonderthon coming up, and I had such a good time this year, and maybe next year will be the first Wonderthon I'm not with Martine, which would be so sad, but also exciting to be on another team as well, because all the teams are amazing, and I kind of want to spread out that like competitive spirit, because we had a lot of big readers on Dover this year, and I'm not the biggest by any means. Like, so many people on our team read more than me, but I'm like, you know, if we want to make it more competitive, like some of us who are really dedicated to the readathon and somewhat big readers, if we like spread out, that's gonna like help the readathon be more competitive, because there will just be heavier readers on different teams. So I've been thinking about that. I also had some ideas for Lizzie that she can like think about throughout the year, for like how to maybe help some of those teams that maybe they just don't have like those big readers that year, how to help them like get in the game and maybe have a chance at winning, because I know it's always really hard when your team is so far behind and you know you're far behind. It can be discouraging, and it's not as fun as when you're in that like chaotic, like we stand a chance of winning. And I would love for every team to have that like all the time. So I had some ideas for like how to make that happen. But like one of them would be like having a group of, they're not captains, but they're people that like maybe don't want the pressure of like being on a team that's trying to win, but they want to be almost like a cheerleader or a supporter for the team that's in last place. So it could be like a group of like 5 to 10 readers who would, whenever they read a book, it goes to the team that's in last place. That's what Lizzie does with all her books. So I was like, what if there were like 5 to 10 of those people who would then be boosting up people who are in last place and kind of helping them get into that like competitive zone where it's like maybe they could push for cavalry really hard, and those people could maybe be like part of the chat, like see all the chat, maybe not talk in the chat, because I don't know if Lizzie would want the team to know they were in last place or not. She'd have to think about that. But like if I could read like everyone's chat, and then I know if I'm reading for Podium that time, then I could be like, okay, Podium's going really hard in this category, I'm going to try to get a read in for that, and that'll be worth a lot of points, and submit it there. I don't know if that works for like all of the math and stuff that Lizzie does, but like I think that would be really fun. or maybe there's another way to adjust for like really high readers and like slower readers. I'm not sure, but I just know that Lizzie always puts so much work into making it better and better. And that was something I was like, oh, I wish all the teams could feel like they're in the running for the win the whole time. So it would like get down to the end and it would be really tense. So I've been thinking about that. So I'll be back after the update, after like the final live show update, and I will probably check back in tomorrow, tell you a little bit about my stats and some highlights of things I read and stuff like that. So I will see you then, but we're almost done, and I'm so sad that we have to wait another year. This is a formal petition to have like a mini Wonderthon round like in December to help tide us over till June. I don't know if Lizzie wants to make that happen, but oh, it's always such a long wait. Hello, it is officially the end of Wonderthon. Oh my gosh, today is Tuesday, July 1st. We had the live show last night, which was so much fun to see all the captains come together and just debrief on what happened. And they gave out the Team Spirit Awards, and Lizzie gave out different team awards. And it was just so much fun. I would like to formally announce that Dover did win. Third time on the orange team, and we won. I'm so excited. It was so great to feel like we finally did it, because we fought so hard the previous 2 years and just couldn't do it. So it was fun to be able to finally say, the curse is broken, Cheyenne has won a readathon. That felt amazing. So I just had such a great time in Wonderthon this year. All the changes that Lizzie made just made it so much better than it's been in previous years, and it was amazing in previous years. So how could it continue to get better? I don't know, but she does it. I filled out my feedback form for her. She always takes feedback at the end of the year, and I think that is part of what helps make Wonderthon so amazing, is she really listens to advice and really utilizes everyone's ideas, and she like takes the best parts of everyone's ideas and brings it together to make something amazing. And I just think Wonderthon 3 was such a success. It was such a blast, and I'm so excited for next year. Someone commented like 50 weeks until Wonderthon on the live show, and I was like, it seems so far away. So I read a total of 63 books, though that is a little bit facetious because like 15 of them were like single issue comics. So I was more in like the 40 like actual book range, and some of them were like short stories and poetry and things like that. So I'm actually probably more in like the 30 actual book range rather than like 63. I didn't read 63 full-length books in June, in the second half of June, 2 weeks. That did not happen. It's a lot of short stuff with a few big things mixed in there. I don't think I had a lot of like super favorites, like 5 stars, loved this, except for some comics that I read that I don't know if I talked much about, but Something is Killing the Children. I love this series. I read the first book, the first volume back in May, and then I reread that one and then read the rest of this series up to volume 8 in June, in the last part of June, and I loved it. It's such a fun series. The art style is just lovely. And I just find the writing's really good, which I struggle with comics sometimes. The writing is a little iffy, but the writing is so good. The stories are so compelling and fast-paced and fun, and I absolutely loved it. And then Night Eaters by Marjorie Liu. I read the first 2 volumes, and I'm planning to read this next one soon. I don't know if it'll be finishing the story. I might be reading it as it comes out, which is always hard with comics because you read them so quickly and then you have to wait so long. But this has such a beautiful art style. So there's like very horrific things happening, but it's written so beautifully and drawn so beautifully. I love it so much. I love the mom character in this series is so fabulous. She's like very stoic and serious and very like hard on other people, but you can tell she's a little soft on the inside. And I love her so much. I think she's such a fascinating character to follow. And I really, really loved it. I think as far as novels go, My Heart is a Chainsaw by Stephen Graham Jones was a really big hit for me. I really enjoyed this one. It didn't quite get a 5-star, but it got like a 4.5, and I'm really excited to continue on in the series. I think that was my highlight as far as novels went, and I got a few things read off of my TBR. Maybe not as many as I would have liked, but that's okay because Wonderthon is all about options, and I had a lot of options from the library that just worked really well to read quickly, and because they were like new acquisitions from the library, I was very excited to read them. So I didn't read a ton of books off my actual physical TBR, but I did get a couple that I was excited to read. I started 2 new series. I started this trilogy. I started the Keeper of the Lost Cities series, and I started the Wingfeather Saga by Andrew Peterson, as well as graphic novel series, but I don't worry too much about those. So I definitely started some series, but had a good time with a lot of them. Oh, I also started the Will Trent series by Karen Slaughter, though I'm not positive I'm going to continue with that one. I don't know that I liked it enough to want to read a lot more about Will Trent, but I might try reading the second one before I decide on that. I don't know. So overall, I had a great time. It was so fun to be on the winning team, and Bodium really kept us on our toes, and Annick sometimes really kept us, like, the pressure was on, even though we were doing so well. The pressure was on so much the whole time. I loved the new battle system and how it all worked, where if a team wins, they get 5% of your overall score. Instead of the points meaning however big your win was, that's how many points you get, and that's how many points they lose. This time it was like however big your win is, the other team will lose 5% of that damage, but you will win 5% of their overall score. So battles got more stressful as the time went on in the readathon, and more beneficial for other people to win. So we had like lower teams below us were trying to like max out a category to try to attack us in. And so we were feeling the pressure to like not get hit too many times, to look scary enough that people didn't find if we had a weakness. We were just hoping to like read a lot and look scary, even though we definitely had some weak points, aka infantry, which we sort of forgot about halfway through the readathon. We stopped reading it. That was super fun. Lizzie shared a bunch of stats about the readathon in the live show, and we just had such a great time. It's going to be really hard for me to decide next year what team to be on, because I know so many people on Dover were like, I can't wait to be back on this team next year. We all got to come back. And I'm like, oh no, what if I leave? And I know all the other teams are just as amazing, but you get so attached to like your team, and there are some people I've been on that team with since Wonderthon 1. We were Giza, we were Rome, and then we were Dover, and we've had this sort of like victory arc of, I was looking at our scores from Giza, and we were like minus 235 points at the end of that round. We were like negative so many points. And so it was really amazing to kind of be on this team year after year after year to kind of get that win. And I just think it'll be really hard if I pick another team and all my friends are still on Dover or the orange team. But I do want to go like be on other teams, like I said before, like spreading out that competitive crazy reading spirit, even though I am not a crazy reader by any means. So many people read more than I do, but just kind of spreading the love out a little bit. Also, Orange team, Martine's team usually is the biggest team, so spreading people out that way so that the teams are like slightly more even. But I take Wonderthon very seriously, so I give it my all. I try to maximize points, and so I just thought like I would try to bring that energy to another team. But Martine, I still love you and Orange team so much. It will be really sad if I end up doing that, and there is every possibility that when it comes to signups next year, I end up on the Orange team again, but I'm going to try to spread the love, and I think it would be so much fun to try to win with every captain, like pick a team and stick with it until we win. I think that would be so much fun if I could like win with every captain throughout the years of Wonderthon. Lizzie, I hope you're ready for Wonderthon to go for like 30 more years, because I don't actually know what I'll do without Wonderthon to look forward to. I'm going to be so sad in June when there's not Wonderthon, so I hope you're ready to keep it going for decades more, please. Anyways, if you stuck around for this entire video, I know it's quite long, I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you'll be back next year to see what happens again in Wonderthon. If you want to join at all, please do. If you're overwhelmed at the thought of joining this chaos, just know that everyone in Wonderthon is so kind and so helpful. It all makes sense once you get going. There are people on Dover that were like, I read a book, help me know what to do with it, please. And then there are people who are like strategizing for weeks before and building like the perfect TBR. You're going to find a mix of every type of person and every type of reader and competitive levels and things like that in Wonderthon. And so I hope that if you are at all interested, that you will join next year. Follow Lizzie, follow the team captains. You can watch if some of them vlogged during Wonderthon. They will be sharing their vlogs. I know Lizzie will for sure. I don't know about other people, but I just think that it's such a wonderful, special readathon. I feel so much closer to my team than I have when I've done bigger readathons. And that's not to say that those other readathons are bad, but I think Wonderthon itself feels like summer camp. I've said that in past years. It feels like you get stuck in the trenches and you're with your team and you're having fun and you're strategizing, and there's so much chaos and stress and fun and laughs. Like, oh my goodness, so many of the people that I've met through Wonderthon have become my favorites. I first heard of Lizzie and Martine and Ruby and Bailey and Danielle through Wonderthon. Like, I may never have known about them if not for this super special readathon. So it just holds a really special place in my heart. Go show Lizzie all the love. I'm going to link Lizzie's channel and all the captains' channels down below so you can check them out. It's a really sweet, kind corner of BookTube that I'm so glad I get to be a little bit a part of. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video. Bye. Right now when you're seeing this video, there's like 49 weeks to Wonderthon. We can do it.